You're nobody till somebody kills you. Bow, bow, bow. You're nobody till somebody kills you. Mm-mm. You're nobody till somebody, say what, kills you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about it. Especially just that Biggie Small song. And it goes a little something like this in the chorus. It goes a little something like, you're nobody till somebody kills you. And if you think about that on a cultural level, ladies and gentlemen, you start to get the feeling when these people sort of die or murdered, you get a feeling that this culture is nothing until somebody kills somebody in the culture. You start getting the feeling like, damn, people don't seem to really care or talk about protecting the culture. They don't care about how to take the culture to the next level. It just seems like people only care about the culture and racism and things that's going wrong in this world when somebody dies. When somebody dies. And then for a temporary amount of time, people seem concerned and people repeat, oh, we gotta do better. Right, Sunfruit? Oh, we gotta do better, y'all. How many times do we hear we gotta do better after somebody dies or somebody's thrown in jail? I don't know, lady. You nobody till somebody kills you. So maybe the culture is I don't know. But look, ladies and gentlemen, as you all have heard, people are I guess talking about this recent killing of a guy by the name of Takeoff, who I believe was shot twice in the head and once in the torso. And because of that, because they're rappers, I guess, and because they're sort of famous, I guess, then everybody's going to be talking about it like, ah, we got to do better. What about security? What about the gun laws? What about mental health? What about mental health? A lot of people are like, oh, I'm so tired. I'm so tired of black men killing each other. I'm so tired of gone too soon. I'm so tired of police brutality. But, ladies and gentlemen, you also have certain people in the culture that are starting to say, listen, you and people that look like you are being fed destruction. You and people that look like you are being conditioned with um, death, drugs, sex, violence. There's this whole, I don't know if you all know this or not, right? But there's this whole thing out here. It's almost set up like when you have something like the hood, which many call a project or an experiment, you got to understand what the different controls and the variables are in this experiment and wow, can you so think about everything that's been created. They created the hood, right? They created the hood as opposed to 40 acres and a mule. You got yourself a hood, projects, a low income housing, government subsidy type housing. And in most of those cases, no matter if you're talking about high rise apartment buildings or you could talk about little townhomes, there's a certain similar thing that's happening in all of these projects. Right? It's no real access to healthy food. It's people with mental illness. More and more guns are funneled into the hood and more drugs. Now, From the outside, the projects looking in, you might be like, damn, that shit is dangerous. But when you're in the projects, when you're born in the projects, that shit is home, right? That shit becomes home. That becomes your reality or whatever. And then we talk about hip hop, which creeped into the community. And it was initially, fun times with the DJ. And then it turned into what? Some more political, sort of empowering messages going on. And warnings from people in the hood or who were in the hood, and they don't really want to go back or they don't really want that experience repeated again. They'll tell you, get out the hood. It's not for you. It's danger here. There's only a couple of consequences. If you're in these gangs, you're either going to be dead or in jail. And that seems to be the case for a lot of people. But, ladies and gentlemen, we got to talk about it. It seems as if people only care when there's a death. And then it's like people wake up and they're like, wow, we have a culture. We are a people, one people. Why don't we act like it? And it's like, it's so strange to me how it goes down. Number one, you have people saying all the time, there is no community or there is no black culture because it's more that there's a culture, but we're reacting to the larger cultures imposing and creating certain conditions. It's crazy, y'all. I need to know what y'all are thinking here, Sunfruit, because holy shit, you're nobody till somebody kills you. And then on top of that, the killer is also somebody. The killer himself gets a name. And it's like you feel like you're stuck in some sort of weird game that you can't just go outside and play dice or it'll turn into something else. And then that's just the bottom line, how things might go. There have been plenty of takeoffs. There have been plenty of people who died over a dice game, died over dominoes. I don't know if people died so much over a spades game, but you get the gist. When we get together and we ain't really doing anything and we're not being productive, we're just hanging around like people like to do. It's almost like you might as well bet that something might pop off. You might as well guarantee that somebody's going to be walking around with some sort of toxic and they might be armed. And now with this takeoff situation, people don't have any idea, right? You had Shakur Stevenson, the boxer from Newark, who was standing right next to Takeoff. When he got shot, you got so many people who were there, probably over 40 people. Nobody's come forward with any information. Takeoff himself was shot a couple of times. Not to mention the other two people who were wounded and had to go to the hospital. Nobody's coming forward with anything, any names or nothing. So, and you got a lot of people saying, listen, these people are dying in the same context that they're being pushed to be a part of this sort of death music, is what a lot of people are calling it. Death, drugs, and sex. The unholy trinity that a lot of people are saying are being pushed onto hip hop, the community, black folks. And so you see a lot of rappers, lady rappers, talking about sex and everything. Yeah, of course they're going to get paid. You see a lot of dudes talking about their drugs and all that good stuff and their guns and the killing niggas and the ops. Yeah, this is what they want. Y'all remember Wise Intelligent? There was a brother named Wise Intelligent. He was speaking in front of people and he was letting it be known that, hey, listen, there was such a thing in hip hop called poor righteous teachers. He was like, listen, there was a thing, Public Enemy. Listen, there was a thing. Wise Intelligence said that thing changed. Certain things, people started to be given incentives. You know what I mean? It wasn't an accident consequence of history, wise intelligence says. It was an intentional, planned, people sat down in a room probably to plan how we're going to convince these poor, mentally unhealthy kids, desperate, right, hungry kids from these areas, how are we going to convince them to give us some destruction in their music? How are we going to convince them to give us more bitches and niggas and more gun talk, more gang references? How can we do it? And maybe in the meeting somebody said, well, we can just tell them to speak about their everyday life. So for some people, right, they're just talking their everyday life. Again, this everyday life that was conditioned on people, right? This everyday life of living in the hood that was given to you by who? This everyday life living in the hood with no real access to anything healthy. This inner city, this urban situation that's surrounded by cops, that's everything is wired, and they pump drugs in the hood. So the thing about it is when it comes to getting it right, we got to get it together. It definitely starts on individual levels first, but you got to start probably being a little bit more healthy, like refusing to bring children into this drama, refusing to, or I don't know, or more schools. Listen, the bottom line is this, ladies and gentlemen, you're nobody till somebody kills you. Is that really true? And what about your culture? People want to be somebody so bad that they put themselves into situations where somebody might kill them. So they can die a martyr or die a hero of the cause. When people die or people go to jail, that seems to be the situation where we're like, we got to get it together, y'all. And there's never any real collective getting anything together. You know what I mean? And it's been like that since slavery ended, wherever it ended in the States. It's been like that because black folks never got together as a culture, as one people, because by the time slavery was over, there was so much division and fear and self-hate. There was so much that they had already figured out. Same thing in Africa. Before there was any real solid, what people call independence, they had already caused so much destruction, division. They had already set it up in place such that, yeah, you can be independent all you want, but it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be almost as if they're going to continue to serve their colonial masters and everything that their colonial masters conditioned them to do, which is what? Have no real respect for yourself, have more respect for money, have more respect for being popular, and you're going to be rewarded for celebrating, supporting someone else's culture than your own. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of people don't understand, but the everyday hood nigga in the United States is a figment of white supremacy creation. Whites, the institution of whites, the institution. When we're talking about hood niggas, motherfuckers in the hood, and also when we're talking about dudes, black dudes who end up going to institutions, black people who end up going to like the Harvard and the things, and that's another sort of type of person that white supremacy created in black people. We got to know who we have become. It's not so much knowing who we are, because we can know, right? We can know, oh, yeah, my great grandfather was a king. Knowing that will do nothing. It's you having the resolve to actually change your course of action. And it's tough because you start changing your course. You start trying to be all about peace on your end. But then you go outside and you realize everybody's trying to bring you chaos. People are trying to bring you war. when you are actually trying to be part of the peace movement in your own right, but people bring you war, making it very difficult for you to focus on peace if you're in the same environment as these people focused on war, killing, death, drugs, and all of that. So it's weird because, damn, it just seems like people don't really care about this culture, man. I'm talking about black politicians. They don't care. You think they care about what's really going on in poverty neighborhoods? No, of course not. That's the dangerous part. You got people who, black folks, who become politicians. They have these positions of power where they might be able to affect some change, but they're still in the system. They still got to follow rules. They still got to play along. And in their minds, they still have to sort of, work with people who got money. They're returning favors of people who got money. And it's scary, but it's like in the hood where people don't have no money, there you got these different anthems that come out of the hood, like you're nobody till somebody kills you, and all of a sudden you're somebody. And in the culture, it's like your culture is no culture. There's nothing, no culture until somebody kills or attacks the culture or kills the. And then there's this reaction, ladies and gentlemen, reactionary, emotional responses, conditioned emotional responses where there's no logic. They got us on that. They got us on that level of thinking, right? They got us on that level of thinking where it's all emotion, where it's all about how you feel, where it's all about satisfying your basic physical surface needs. That's why they know how to market things to you. They know how to promote things your way so that you will understand it. And as we see here, right here in the chat, Black Cherubim says, no voting, no vucking. They come up with these really disrespectful promotional videos when they want your attention. They want you to help them out. They come up with these strange, and it usually deals with sex or something like that. No voting, no vucking. You have black women who are running for office and they're twerking and at beaches and posting it because you're not supposed to be anything but animal. You're not supposed to react. You're just supposed to have animal instincts. You're supposed to be humping just like a rabbit. And then we can come in, right? We being the ones that are part of this experiment, putting you through this continuing experiment. We see you like to fuck like rabbits. We see you like to get high as hell. So we're going to provide you with the drugs. And we're going to set up a Planned Parenthood. We're going to plan your parenthood. Because we see y'all are out here, y'all ain't planning nothing. Y'all are out here drinking the liquor that we provide right around the corner. Y'all are out here smoking the crack that we funneled into your neighborhoods. Y'all are out here shooting people with the guns that we gave y'all. And you want to come on your records and wax and spread those same messages. Brag about killing niggas. Dare a nigga to pull up. Brag about the material possessions you got, which makes hungry people, poor people, the type that'll come out and take your money. And they will go live while doing it. Not thinking. There's no logic. There's just conditioned emotional responses. It's like a good bit of the black culture are just human manifestations of what happens when you are conditioned from the outside. And it's scary, y'all. It's scary, y'all. You know, because there's this weird relationship that you notice a lot of black folks have with criminality and death. A lot of black folks growing up, they start thinking about death by the time they 7, 8 years old. They start thinking about jail. Can't wait to get up out of jail because they know they're going to be more popular. Shout out to Crip Mac. And it's very, very weird and very unfortunate. I don't like to connect hip hop to the reason why Takeoff got shot, but and I don't know their music too well enough to know what the lyrics of their lyrics are, what their lyrics are all about, but I don't know what the answers are, y'all. All I know is I can tell there's something going on and it's not nice. There needs to be a complete reevaluation, really, of what's important. You got people who like gang is important to them. Crip and doing Crip things and blood things, that's important to them. That's their life that you ain't gonna be able to reverse. Yeah, temporarily you might be able to get yourself a truce. You might be able to show up and do a little promotion, take pictures. Niggas is in a little temporary truce between gangs, but again, like that's temporary. Temporary quick fixes. I don't know what to really think when stuff like this happens, when the takeoff is shot like that, or when anybody else is shot or murdered. I never really know what to think. I can't say I feel tired. I don't get that deep into it. I'm so tired because I've never been tired of being black. I've never been tired of being a black man. I hear people saying that, but I don't know what that means. I'm so tired. I'm tired. I'm tired of this shit. Tired of niggas killing each other. I can't say I'm tired of it necessarily, but it's like, wow, okay, and I don't necessarily elevate people who are famous over the not so famous. So just the same day that Takeoff was shot, there were like 14 people in Chicago that were wounded in a drive-by shooting. And one of those 14 people was a 3-year-old kid. And if you think about it, it's all a natural problem, maybe not natural, but it's a normal reaction. It's a normal symptom. It's normal when you're dealing with the type of poverty that a lot of people are in, poverty in wallet, poverty of spirit and mind, right? Because you, like I said, you have people that don't love themselves. You have people who are all ego and nothing else. You got people who know that you would love their watch more than you would love them. So they go out and get watches. They go out and get jewelry. They go out and get jewelry that nobody else have, custom made jewelry. So it is pretty sick, y'all, when you think about these record execs when they are giving contracts to people who really know how to lay it down on wax and really talk about their drugs, really get into the death and the drugs and the confusion and the sex, you will get paid. I don't even know if I should be really liking that group called Griselda. I don't know. Them niggas talk about drugs. I used to do drugs all the damn time. Battle rap is another thing. A lot of people sort of elevate battle rap as it's just this amazing, artistic, no, fuckers is just like poetic. It's poetry in motion. But look at what happens when they get a microphone and when they know they're going to battle somebody. What comes out of their mouth? It's almost like there's a toxic body here, and people are given microphones, and what comes out is toxic. You know what I mean? And it's toxic to a beat. It's rhyming toxicity. It's freestyle toxic, poisonous battle rap. Is what it is, and it's so bad that whenever somebody's not really talking about nothing like that, they single that person out and say, "Oh, you conscious." You one of them conscious niggas. I see you, nigga. You should look at you with your eyes wide open. Look at your ass. You one of those conscious ass niggas, ain't you, nigga? With your third eye blazing. You know what I mean? I see you, nigga. It's not so much that your melanin is popping. It's that it's really activated. I see that, nigga. Your pineal gland. Your pineal gland ain't calcified, nigga, is it? You one of them niggas whose pineal gland ain't even calcified, ain't you? You one of them scared niggas, one of them conscious niggas with a backpack, right? You got nothing but positivity, right, nigga? You one of those motherfuckers. They separate them. They make conscious rappers feel bad. But what else does it really mean? It means we have accepted, we have normalized being unconscious. We know it. Preferably, if we get a bag for it, that would be great. But least you can do is respect us for our contributions, knowing that we are unconscious, knowing that we don't know what we're doing, knowing that we're out here reckless. Give me $1 million, nigga. I'll be reckless as hell, right? This is sort of the feeling when you don't have no moral code, when you don't have no real sense of culture and any of that. This may be the result that you may be seeing in many different cultures, but especially here in the United Snakes, especially here in these United States, right? You see people all the time talking about, hey, I'm a product of my environment, man. It is what it is. Ain't nobody trying to reinvent no wheels over here, nigga. I'm a product of my environment, nigga. What you expect? Yeah, I stole your car. I'm a product of my environment, nigga. What you think? What you thought? You gonna be able to drive around in your car because you paid for it? When niggas like me is looming and lurking? So this is why you can't really trust or go out of your way to be all about having some skin based respect for people, all based on the color of your skin, because that turns into a whole other game that no other culture plays. That because your skin is dark, you supposed to be right here next to my heart, right? Because you got that dark skin that you supposed to be my kin, and you get caught up in shit like that. You get caught up. You get so caught up in that, and they create things like black on black crime. Cause you so busy talking about black, black this, black that. I black, 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 black everything. I respect black, nigga. But you turn around as black, ready to kill your ass. Not because you black, but regardless of your black. They just taking your life, your black life. So I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. Some people get extra concerned, and you see people with tears, like they really want the culture to get better. But it's only when somebody dies and it's publicized that they feel like coming out. Because the reality is, first of all, we have to acknowledge that most, damn near all mainstream artists, damn near all people listening to mainstream radio, damn near everybody is toxic and needs some sort of help. You know what I mean? Before, they need some sort of understanding. They need to be reoriented. But it has to start with yourself. You know what I mean? And I'm not just talking shit. I've done some reorienting myself, and you could tell there are a lot of people, y'all, that do not know or have any real respect for their individual self. They have more respect for other individuals, more respect for other groups. They got way more respect for chains, for guns. They got respect for fear that the guns bring. But but when you in a culture like this, man, it's so strange because you see the cycle, you see the circle, you see how it goes down. Somebody's born in the hood, no father or whatever, both parents are not functional. They going through life, and next thing you know, they start, dibbling and dabbling with what that environment brings to you. You start becoming a product of your environment because you multiply like baby's kids with that in the environment that's destructive. But as soon as you reorient yourself, right, instead of saying, I'm a product of my environment, nigga, what you expect? You say, the environment is a product of me, or the environment is a product of we. It's like we are part of it. We don't have to be littering. But if you grow up in a neighborhood where you see litter everywhere, you're going to go outside, you're going to drink something, and you're going to throw it on the ground because you already see other things on the ground that somebody else threw down. And you say to yourself, I'm just a product of my environment. I'm going to multiply the things that are on this ground with my own garbage. You know what I mean? As Sunfruit says, I am because we are. And if we apply that to today, what does that really mean? I am what? Crazy? I am self-destructive because we are? If you apply that today to some general aspects, what is it? I am lost. I am in need of mental therapy because we are? Or is it the other way around? So, yeah, I don't know. It all depends on who the we is. Who is the we, right? Who is the we? Who are we? You got black people in all over Africa, and all they know is tribe. You got all darkness, all in the continent of darkness. And even they don't fuck with each other over skin. Even they don't fuck with each other over skin alone. So it's like within and even on top of that, there is no general African unity. You see what happens when an African leader starts talking that African unity talk, when they start talking that United States of Africa talk, when they start talking about that we want to have our own currency talk. That's dangerous to the powers that have already colonized Africa. That's dangerous to the Frances, to the Europe, to the England, to the America. If they hear of a African nation, they see a really powerful African leader that's all about self-determination, self-preservation. They see a Mugabe, it makes them nervous. It really makes them nervous. So that just goes to show you, y'all, there's been a serious conditioning of dark people everywhere. Some were conditioned by Muslim slave trade. Some were conditioned by the Christian slave trade, European slave trade, colonization, slavery for centuries. Conditioned, right, to hate yourself, conditioned to hate all things that are dark, conditioned to favor and appreciate things that are white, not just people, but ideas that may be Eurocentric, fashion that may be Eurocentric. It's scary, y'all. People all of a sudden realize that we are family only when someone in the family is killed, when someone in the family goes to jail, like the brother named Sue Surf in battle rap and in hip hop. He was known as a certain type of guy in battle rap, but now that he's got this RICO charge and he's jailed, everybody's pouring out affection. Everybody's saying, "Hey, we need Surf around here." Everybody's like, "Yeah, man, we Surf, but and then some other people are saying, "No, that dude Sue Surf, I'm glad he's in jail." There is somebody out there who made a video, y'all, that said, you know what? I'm glad that nigga Sue Surf is in jail. Why would they be glad that someone who's been making money through battle rap and hip hop, why would another black person be glad that Sue Surf is in jail? There's no free the wave coming from him. There's no free Sue Surf. There's none of that coming from him. He's glad Sue Surf is in jail. And it's not Sue Surf's ops. It's somebody who said, unfortunately, for a lot of brothers, jail is the only thing that corrects them. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, some people might say military training and all that too, but when it comes to hood niggas and the niggas has been in the hood for real, whether you listen to brother like Al B from Jersey City, whether you listen to other brothers, or the real freeway Ricky Ross, you hear y'all straight up. They not only would they never wish jail on their worst enemy, But they see jail at the same time, they see it as the only thing that's going to straighten some of these niggas out. As right? So unfortunately, again, and that's another remedy. That's something that they have, that they offer you too. They set up the situation with the projects, right? They funnel the drugs and the guns through the projects. There's no real food for you to really be able to think freely in this projects. They got police just waiting for you to commit crime. And the police are working with people in your same neighborhood trying to get you to snitch, wearing a wire, because there is no real code. The code of the streets is a myth. So they got people living off of a myth, and they don't even know that what they're doing and how they're behaving is directly from the mind of a white supremacist mad scientist who came up with this project, who continued the project, who expanded the projects, and it's very scary. So when I hear that Biggie song, "You're nobody till somebody kill you," that means your humanity's not appreciated. That means who you are is not respected. That means your life has no real value even when you're alive and breathing. That means you have to die to get some respect out here. And that's a really jacked up way to be thinking and to be living life. You're nobody till somebody kills you. And I'm sort of connecting it to people don't seem to really care about culture. There's no real care of culture unless somebody kills someone from that culture and they're popular. People like to act and perform like they really, really care. But arguably, if you cared, then all of your words, all of your thoughts, words, and actions would be about empowering yourself and other people. All of your thoughts, words, and actions would be about getting stronger, not necessarily getting more iced out, not necessarily getting more cars, not necessarily buying more houses, more bitches, more drugs, more guns. And it's not about how many bodies you got either. So, unfortunately, people are going to be reaping what you sow. Even if you're sowing something because you're getting paid and you're broke, you're still going to reap what you sow, even though you're out here sowing for a bag. You're out here sowing for a bag, hoping that that bag is going to get you out of the hood. So it's crazy the cycle, how it's how they set you up in the hood, number one, and they make it so that your only job is doing illegal shit. They set up the jails and the prisons. They set up the schools. So you don't really learn nothing and you're just sort of being trained to follow along the pipeline from public school to prison. So it's like, damn, we are in bigger trouble. If you want to talk we are in bigger trouble than we know, right? Way bigger. Because there's no real sense of community. Not even in, you know what I'm saying? There's no real sense of culture. What do we have as culture to look up to as on the mainstream? You got people like FNF, the FNF song. Fuck nigga free, and everybody's dancing like it's nothing empowering about it. Cardi B and the WAP. And they're just so happy talking about how wet their pussy is, but you're killing yourself, shawty. You know, you can talk about your WAP, but we looking at your MIND. And something in Cardi B's MIND told her to almost die if you got to get your butt surgery done so that you can get more dollars on the strip pole so that you could leave the hood. It's like by the time you get some money, you're damn near dead. So maybe you left the hood, but you left this earth too. or you lost and left your mind. There's so much weird stuff going on, ladies and gentlemen, and you'll notice killed in senseless violence that could have been avoided probably. And you're like, wow, what a waste, or wow, what's really good? What's going on? And you hear this takeoff brother wasn't even the one arguing. They caught a stray bullet or two or three stray bullets. And people do not want to snitch. People do not want to snitch. Have they found out who shot PNB Rock yet? That artist from Philly that was killed at a sort of a fast food spot? Hopefully they found out who killed him, but again, it might not matter so much. I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, there's something seriously wrong, and we can't just say it. We shouldn't be just voting Democrat hoping that would change either, because there's certain avenues to take advantage of in this political system, and we've only been trying one avenue, and that one avenue, which is the Democrat Party, has been shitting on your votes. The Democrat Party has been taking a stinky dump on all of your votes, all of your expectation and hope. Just taking a dump on y'all. And it's like they continue to vote Democrat, hoping that would change some conditions, not knowing that it's also Democrat that's really trying to help keep those conditions in place. So the object for many people allegedly is to get out the hood, right? Do you really believe that? Get out the game, get out the hood, and don't ever feel like you got to go back to the hood. That's sort of what the brother named Al B from Jersey City was saying. He spent some time in jail, just got out. He's saying he's been out 2 months. He still hasn't gone back to his hood because he said the hood, the projects, and life in general is like a video game where you got one stage and you got to move up to the next stage. For him and many, the hood is the very first stage that you walk out on. And the whole object of these different games is to maintain your health, maintain your vitality, and stay alive so that you can make it to the next level, hopefully picking up whatever weapons or however much you could learn from that previous stage and go to the next stage. Don't just stay there on one stage thinking that you're going to know something or learn something or grow something. So people are slowly starting to pick up the idea that, hey, wait a minute, this hood, yeah, it's my home, my homies and all that. So much we did together, but we didn't build it. You know, it was actually created for our destruction. And there I was, playing a role in that destruction, playing an active role in my own destruction. It's dangerous, but people are engaging in activities. People are using their thoughts and their words to create an environment that's really unhealthy. And you're sowing certain things for a bag without knowing what you're going to reap. And I'm not saying that Takeoff got what he reaped or what he sowed. From what I understand, Takeoff was a regular cool dude. I don't know if he smashed the homie's girl. I don't know nothing about what's going on with those individuals or most people. But it's a damn shame, y'all. It's a damn shame when you got people who really believe you're nobody till somebody kills you. And when you have people who react like they don't really got no culture until you realize people are questioning your culture over a senseless death. Now they're questioning your culture. Then you got to have some people saying, I don't believe, why can't we do better? Why can't we do better? Because we are getting paid not to do better, right? Why can't we do better? Why can't we do better, get better? Because we're getting all these different incentives not to do better. Why can't we be better? We got to do better, nigga. Why can't I don't see nobody else killing each other? Well, yeah, you got a serious problem of mental health and people doing things when they're in a dark space and live in an unhealthy environment and no tools to survive. no real sustenance to stay alive, and plenty of drugs to help you bide the time. Plenty of drugs to help you along the way, to sort of temporarily, take your mind off of what's really good. So y'all gotta wait. Y'all gotta be easy out here. And I'm gonna leave this video right here for the people. Thank y'all very much for coming through. You're nobody till somebody kills you. But we gotta flip it. You know what I mean? We gotta flip that. And we can't be talking about physical death no more. We have to start talking about a death of a certain character or a personality that we had before. Somebody, we want somebody to come around and kill that. Convince that person, that personality, that they shouldn't be around here thinking like that. That is not productive. So it is what it is. I only surround myself with music that has some real empowering, solid, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't listen to Griselda. Griselda's probably going to end up being one of the best rap groups since Wu-Tang. Griselda, right? But what are they rapping about? Materials? I don't know. I got to listen to their music some more. But I know that dude, the Benny the Butcher's always talking about the drugs, always talking about bitch. It's like, can we become a little bit more futuristic in our visions? Can we be a little bit more creative in who we want to be and where we want to be and how we want to act? Now, certain things are not going to be avoided. Certain things you can't avoid, like the random killer or the random jealous, because the hood brings that out of people. The hood brings it out of people. It's like jail. You're just sitting around and you start hating people just because of how they look. You start hating people because of how they sound. Familiarity breeds contempt also, y'all. Familiarity. Did I pronounce that right? Familiarity breeds contempt in the hood. Have y'all noticed that? That's why it's another reason to get the fuck out of there, because the longer you stay in this hood, the more hatred you're going to get. And people are going to be so familiar with your ass, and they're never going to expect you to grow, and they're going to mistreat you like that. So there's a lot of people that are easily controlled by a certain paradigm and a way of life that's conditioned on people. And it's difficult for people to get up out of there. And where they're going to go? Oh, Lord have mercy, y'all. It's dangerous. So the experiment, Love Birdie says the experiment has been successful. And I think I have that in the title. I always forget the title of my shits. But the experiment so far has been successful, y'all. You have to admit it. We've had plenty of people who are leaders, who are parents, who are community leaders, who are trying to ring the alarm. But there's something that's more powerful than the alarm that people are ringing. There's something more powerful. And when you have a people with no hope, you know what I mean? You got people with no hope. They hopeless. Hopeless. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? When a lot of people don't really want to be living. A lot of people are alive, but they don't want to live. A lot of people are alive, but they aren't living at all, and they don't know they aren't living. So those are two separate Walking Dead type of group of people, right? Walking Dead, people who don't want to be around, and people who are acting like they don't want to be around. So it's something to think about, y'all. There's an experiment. They're working it on. Not just, I mean, some people would say COVID. That's a biological bioweapon or whatever you want to call it, that experiment. But there's been a long-standing experiment. Ever since your 40 acres and a mule was never, even the natives knew not to really take their promises serious or their treaties or any agreement contracts that they sign, native people here in the States, they knew not to trust, right? So 40 acres and a mule was a joke just to get you excited. The next part of the joke is for the government to run your housing and take your housing away, like Cabrini Green, where Good Times was filmed in Cabrini Green projects in Chicago or any other. They just tear down your home for decades where grandma and them used to live. They just tear it down because the government controls your home. The government sets the conditions around your home. The government gives the licenses for people to have certain type of shops around your projects, like bodegas that many people have grown to be. It's been such an affectionate thing, right? The bodega. Hang out at the bodega. Get your little nickel bag from the bodega. You know the bodega owner. You stay there. Y'all have conversations right outside the bodega. Maybe your homie got shot outside the bodega. But damn, when you look at what the mother loving food, do you see what they're serving in the bodega? It's nothing but shit. I mean, they might have a little section over there of nuts and some raisins, but for the most part, they got rows and rows of now laters, Twizzlers, Starburst, and M&M and stuff that's got pork in it and candy corn and blow pops where they have you sucking all this shit and it's real sugary. And then they have you chewing the gum, it's real sugary on top of that. And then maybe you might have some fresh food in your bodegas. I know we got some around here, straight up fresh fruit, vegetables, everything. But of course, we're talking about the hood of all hoods, where the most poverty is can be found. And we're talking about regular corner stores, and they got cotton candy and shit that's all old. They got chips, cookies. They got deli meat. That's probably, you know what I mean. I don't see anything that's really good for a lot of people. And then you take it up a notch. You got certain stores that are still selling the Tropicana juices, the iced teas that aren't healthy, the Coca-Colas. People are still drinking sodas. Ladies and gentlemen, the best you can do is to make sure you're solid right now, 2022. We probably just went through 20, 30 years of non-thinking. We probably, when it comes to hip hop, as long as hip hop has been alive and since hip hop has changed for the worse, it's probably been a couple decades of just non-thinking, partying bullshit with an occasional gem that comes up out of like a rose out of concrete. An occasional artist, an occasional album that's like a rose growing out of concrete. But for the most part, since hip hop it took the turn for the worst, a lot of black folks have just been nodding your head, walking dead. Nodding your head, walking dead. And that's unfortunate. And people don't really know it. And unfortunately, people don't really know it until you die. You don't know how much of a good person you are until you die. Somebody tells you, oh, he was such a good person. You're nobody till somebody kills you. And we walk around as if our culture is nobody until somebody kills. And not just that, the killing has to be broadcasted on television, right? So for people to start acting like, hey, wait a minute, whoa, this is just terrible. What's going on? And damn near everybody listens to music that celebrates that type of violence. Rolling up on my ops. Do we got a problem? You listening to all that type of garbage. People are, the worst. The people who are running Hot 97 and Breakfast Club, Charlemagne, and these people got to feel real jacked up because, yeah, they could be replaced. It could be anybody, but they are there playing the trash music, repeatedly on their trash radio channels. And Kanye West has a point. And it just so happens, yeah, maybe a lot of these people are Jews who are running things and telling you to give us more bitches, give us more niggas in your lyrics, give us more AR-15 type of bars, and we'll be good. It's scary, y'all. You lost a brain cell, spot him, got him beat. See, I don't even know what you're talking about. Spot him, got him. Damn, that's jacked up, right? But did the experiment work? If you think about it as an experiment, it's working, y'all. You got a lot of people with sort of bipolar. They've turned into a Dr. Jekyll and a Mr. Hyde type of people, right? It's like the culture, like a Dr. Jekyll and a Hyde culture, maybe, where you got madness all over the place, but it feels like it's normal. It's normal. It's just somebody getting stabbed up. So what? So we've normalized way too much, and then someone dies, and then we act like we care. People act like they care. They go so hard acting like they cared about George Floyd that they made a whole statue of George Floyd. They didn't make that statue because they cared about George Floyd. Come on now. Ladies and gentlemen, we are being played in every single angle. And I broke it down how we're getting played in our environment. When we internalize that we are products of our environment as opposed to the environment being products of us. Like, we can change things. We can do this. We must reinvent the wheel. We got to come back to the table and start thinking about what we want as a people. Figure out who we are first. You got FBA, ADOS. You got people wanting to be Hebrew Israelite. You got people over here talking about they Native American. They might be all of these things, but damn, y'all. But I'm going to stop this right here. I do think maybe the experiment has worked a long time ago. It's to the point now where they may have black folks running the experiment on their own and calling it good and calling it home, calling it normal, calling it just is what it is type of politics. And it's unfortunate. And just wait. Someone else is going to die, and you're going to get the same chorus. It's going to be on repeat like a broken record. You know, I hate niggas. Niggas can't have nothing. Or here we go, niggas killing each other again. Or, it's going to be repeated. Oh, I'm tired. I'm tired of being a black man. Oh, it's tough being a black man out here. It's real tough being a rapper. You'll hear the same broken stuff over and over again, just like you hear or just like you see people continuing just to vote Democrat. Broken record, doing these different things, expecting different results, but we're doing the same thing, expecting different results. We got the same diet for the most part, people expecting what? To be vibrant, to be less obese. We got the same diet. Like, we celebrate soul food. That's when you really feel black. But that's when you really get fat, right? That's when you really have that heart attack. And that's the dangerous part. It's like every aspect of what you call black culture has a death attached to it. That which people hold near and dear to their hearts seems to have death attached to it, whether it's the diet, soul food that Dick Gregory called what? Death food or something? Dick Gregory called it everything that we hold near and dear. The hood, some people hold the hood near and dear to their heart, but there's death attached to it. It's probably because they homie died in that hood that they feel so. It's death attached to damn near everything we hold near and dear to our hearts. From what we eat, to what we listen to what we do. And that's what's got to change, I think. Yeah, you know what, Sunfruit? You brought up that word squat. It's not even funny how many squats I've done. I mean, I swear I must have done at least. I mean, since July, really, when I really started getting into it. I don't know. I must have done like 10,000. I must have done 100,000. I don't know. I must have done a lot of squats, man. My thighs are straight. My knees are good. You know what I mean? I could actually, so that's a good point. Squats, y'all, like a whole new attitude, a whole new way of life. Like, we've got to see the Crips and the Bloods go back to their original meaning, if that's possible. Can you believe it? If you just walked into this culture today and you see Crips and Bloods in different areas and how they're behaving towards each other, you would never think that the Crips and the Bloods had a real solid, empowering origin, foundation. You would never think that the Crips and the Bloods was like really all about like really empowering things. You would never think that if you just walked in. Hip hop, you used to have more like solid, poor righteous teachers, other real solid groups. Can't have those black people thinking of themselves. That's what a lot of them hated even during slavery. Some black folks who had the nerve to want to better themselves either by reading or whatever. The reaction was, "What you doing there, boy? You trying to read, nigger? You can't have y'all niggers reading, right?" Because the whole issue is, if there's a fair playing field, certain people might get destroyed, even without weapons. If there's a fair playing field, you may not even see certain people no more. Or certain people will become even more minorities than they are globally right now. So I would just say to people out here, man, try to reach for yourself. So that's what Sunfruit retracted. Which y'all want me to take off my Coppin State shirt? Nah, we ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that over here. We ain't gonna do that over here. We ain't gonna do that. Because you know what I'm saying? That wouldn't be empowering anybody. It would just be, trying to make myself feel good or whatever. But something to think about, y'all. It just makes me nervous whenever somebody dies that we go through this thing all the time. Damn, man, so fucked up. That's fucked up. Oh, another senseless death. People making their little posts and their little long commentary. Oh, another senseless death. Oh no. I told these brothers, that's what those brothers are rapping about, that rapidy rap, that violence rapidy rap. It was bound to come back to them. Why do my people, why do we do this all the time to ourselves? And it is what it is, y'all. I just want that broken record to just play some other kind of music. But we'll see how it goes, y'all. I don't know. I just figured I'd just make this video real quick. Have people thinking about a little something in a little bit. But I'm going to get out of here, man. We've been here long enough. And I want to thank y'all for coming true. Woo, 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 woo. And Sunfruit said, "Let us see, Marwan." Yeah, maybe on another day. I still got some more to work out. You know what I mean? I still got more to work out a little bit, maybe. And then maybe, I don't know. I'm not really that type of dude showing. Actually, yeah, I am. I am that type of dude. I would show some shit real quick, but you know what I mean? This is the internet. I'm still not quite comfortable. The songs I play before the videos, I don't even know the names of the songs if I play it. You know what I mean? I never know. It's like different sample stuff, and it's free. It's music that is not copyright protected, but it has usually some weird title in it. Like the title could be Autumn Leaves, but it's got like a nice little beat to it. Or it could be something like Grandma Soup. I don't know what these people title it, but it's usually all I do is filter it. I filter it so that it gives me a certain sound. So I filter it to like dreamy, hip hop, laid back, smooth groove, hip hop, and then the unprotected beats just come on, believe it or not. So I don't know the name. So what do I want? I just don't want to hear that broken record. Like, I hate being a black man because we about to die tomorrow. I hate being black. I hate hip hop. But I would like to see some sort of collective, and I don't mean like just some meeting between Tariq Nasheed and Roland Martin and the usual suspects. You know what I mean? It has to happen in all these different pockets. Just a reversal of everything. But I think people are expecting the collective to change before they change as individuals, right? They're gonna wait until the collective does some change out here, and then they're gonna change, because when somebody decides to change and be good, that's usually when all the drama comes their way, all the testing, all the challenges comes their way to do bad, or to bring out that demon, if you will. But ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what to call it. I'm just thankful for, dodging certain bullets, and you too should be thankful if you made it this far, that you dodged certain bullets, and that you're continuing to get sharper though, continuing to get stronger though, doing more squats though, right? Doing less consuming of music that's only about death, drugs, and sex, because then you'll be walking in that direction. It'll end up being your anthem, subconscious anthem, whether you like it or not. It's all subconscious that's that's directing a lot of these people by their subconscious, because they have no real discernible tools, no tools to filter through or to avoid the negative attention or the negative subject matter that hits your subconscious. Because if it hits your subconscious, it becomes a part of you. And your subconscious don't discriminate. So you have to be the one in control of what you expose yourself to. Not just viruses in the air. And we know a mask doesn't really help. But exposing yourself to what? Like, just turn off that radio, man. I don't understand how y'all can listen to Breakfast Club at all. Hot 97, just turn that shit off. CNN, ESPN, just stop listening to all things mainstream and just separate yourself. That's what I did that shit in like 2005, 2006. So I'm chilling. That's why maybe I don't have this whole I'm tired of death. Things are going to happen because people make certain choices and people involve themselves. I'm even seeing some random things about this takeoff shooting, and you never know what the truth is, but I'm hearing things like Quavo sacrificed takeoff. I'm hearing things like Jay Prince Jr.'s got to step up and do some talking because he might have been involved and maybe been an argument. I don't know these people. I'm still tripping off of the people who got shot and killed that I know. You know what I mean? I'm still tripping off that. I'm still tripping off people that got shot and killed execution style, or another one that got killed on the highway on purpose, we believe. I'm still tripping off that, let alone people who are getting killed that I don't really know. But like I said, man, make yourself as sharp as possible and fear less, if that's possible, y'all, and enjoy your life in the process. Enjoy every minute, especially if you are the type to never do what they do. Never do what they do. What they do, what they do, what they do.